So, I'm Rebecca Bennett and my story is called It's My Fault. The theme is man versus himself. I've got like 5 main characters, so it's Sophie, who's a 17-year-old girl, Toby, who's a 19-year-old male, Elizabeth, who's also 17, James, who's 18, and Harry, who's also 17. The plot is basically Sophie trying to find redemption in what has happened, and it's a modern day setting. My logline is, after a party takes an unfortunate turn, a woman has to find a way to get life back to normal. So the story is basically, a 17-year-old girl, Sophie, goes to a house party, and she gets raped by Toby, the 18-year-old male. She struggles coming to terms with what has happened, and she ends up going to see a counsellor. She befriends a guy named James, who's also seen the same counsellor, and her friend Elizabeth gets with her rapist, and she thought that she was her friend, and it all seems like everything's terrible. She blames herself throughout most of the film, and then at the end, James helps her see that it wasn't her fault, and they go to the police office to report it. The idea was based on a true story. With my friend, she had pretty much the exact same experience, but she has not reported it, she's still living with it. I've also done some secondary research, which was speaking to the friend about that experience. I watched some documentaries like I Survived Evil. I spoke to people who have depression, because James's mum committed suicide, and he deals with depression in this, which is why he's with a counsellor. I also have the personal experience of a friend that committed suicide, so I understand how James will be feeling in this situation. I also have looked into the BBC's documentary Is This Rape? Sex on Trial. I looked into a book called Resurrection After Rape, so that's like a guide to transform from a victim to a survivor. And I've also looked into the book and the film A Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, so I'm sure you've all seen it. She gets hurt and basically goes after him. So the theme man versus himself, the actual Google definition is self-conflict, when the character is struggling with themselves on the inside. But in my story it's more like the inner struggle to work on the issues, so like it is still with themselves, but it's more about the issues that have happened to her rather than a mental state. So where it mainly be on location, like a house, a classroom, a bridge, and a police station, but also like sets like the council's office and things like that. I don't have any like weapons or anything like that to have to worry about on location or anything like that. It's simply just, it'd be so much easier, more realistic in a location than going in a set. So the look and filming techniques I'm going for is standard full coverage. For the party, I'm wanting things like Dutch angles to make the viewer feel a bit more like they're in the party, like so they feel uneasy and slightly sort of drunk, if that makes sense. And I'm wanting the rape to be shot in a series of short scenes, so it goes like from short to blackout, so you don't fully see everything. It's just as if you're in her mindset. I'm also going to use like some shots that are point of view shots, high angle to make her look isolated and on her own, and arc shots, so where the camera goes around the actual character just to show like she's isolated, people like staring around her. And I also, in my mental research, found something called a dolly zoom. So when the dolly goes in, it zooms out at the same time.
Oh, trombone shots.
So yeah, it gives sort of like it gives sort of like a different sort of dimension to the film and make it look more interesting. So my inspiration was obviously based on a true story, like I said. I'm passionate about the subject matter. I think it's something that everyone needs to know more about. I'm wanting to do it because it's like raising awareness. It's quite a hot topic at the moment. It's all over Facebook whenever you turn. It's all over the news. There's always a new story out. And awareness, I feel, is like at an all-time high. I think it'd be a good time to film something like this. So the challenges would be that it's a sensitive subject matter, obviously. You have to be really careful about what you do and what you say. But hopefully if it is good enough and you are careful, it's raising awareness in the right way. It's not romanticising this rape, it's not making it seem like this nice little thing at the end. It's showing how hard it is to deal with it and how horrible it is to do something like that to someone. So yeah, is there any questions?
Can I just start? Your story is quite interesting, and I understand that you have like this passion about that, as you said.
Yeah.
However, how would you see that from the college point of view? Like, how willing would it be to produce something this sensitive?
I'm not sure. I'd have to speak to, obviously, the tutors about that. But I think if we filmed it in the right way, and if my script, can't say it, if my script shows this in the right way and doesn't make it seem like a positive thing, we're not going to show any actual rape. It's just going to be like sort of like a point of view shot of like him there and like cutting on and off. So I think there's ways around it where it's still keeping it sort of sensitive to the matter, but showing it as a bad thing that I think maybe the tutors will possibly agree with.
How long is the duration period? How long is it?
It's 7 pages, I think, but most of the scenes are like description, so I think the actual film would be about 10 minutes.
Because it is at a party where it actually happens, will they be drinking?
Yeah.
But they're all all of them are under 18 apart from 2.
Mm.
That is a point that I've thought about. That's why it'd be the age on the actual film would have to be raised to like higher, so that it doesn't encourage the underage drinking. But what I'm showing is that something really negative happens as a result of this.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to encourage anything.
Why don't you just make the actors older? Because it doesn't just happen when you're 16 getting raped. It can happen when you're a lot older. So why would you not just raise it, and then more people are aware of it, so you can have it as a 15, and then 16, 17-year-olds that are normally more vulnerable to get raped can watch it as well.
I did think about that, but I thought that having them underage and drinking, it's also showing that how that's a negative aspect to do at that sort of age, and it shows that like it can happen to anyone, and especially at that age you're so vulnerable, especially drinking, because you never know what someone's going to do, you never know what you're actually taking, you don't know your limits. I think it raises slightly more awareness around everything. Yeah.
So essentially it would just be based around the psychology of the victim.
Yeah.
So then how would you actually portray that like through the actor?
It's going to be like, it's going to basically show her living a life, and basically the next scene after this is all her friends decide that it was her fault, and she always blames herself, hence the name, it's my fault. And then she goes to like a class at school and someone touches her hand and she instantly flinches away, she breaks something and she goes to throw up because that flashback instantly reminds her and she can't bear to be touched. And going to see the counsellor, that's going to be done in like a series of shots through like 10-second shots of it every day. And then you're going to see this guy James slowly come into it, and he's going to at the end basically tell her it's not your fault no matter what anyone says, and you're going to slowly see this resolve around her, and they're going to go to the police station together, so she's not alone.
So would you be replicating what your friend originally went through then?
Near enough, but with the alterations that it's actually been sort of resolved.
Do you think, with it being a short film, that you'd have enough time to bring this male character into it slowly, and then do you think you'd have enough time for him to get to know him, blah blah blah, it's not your fault?
Yeah, it's not really like a really slow, gradual thing. It's because it's over 10-second shots, you're just going to sort of like see him talking to her in 1 minute, and then you're going to be like, it's going to have nothing to do with him, but then she might be in a coffee shop with him, something like that, and then you see that they've built up this relationship, and then all of a sudden, this horrible thing happens of her rapist and her ex-best friend, and then she runs away, and then she meets him on the bridge, where his mum committed suicide, and then because he's opening up to her about that, she opens up to him. So it's like this cohesive relationship. Yeah?
Well done.
Yeah.